Hello, this is the AC Stories. I'm the AC, and I'm going to read a story I started to write but then scrapped, but then couldn't bring myself to get rid of. So instead, I just kind of stapled my notebook shut on that area so that it could not get in the way of it. But I'm going to go ahead and unstaple it, hopefully not completely ripping out the pages. Oh no. And then read from it. I have not read this in a while, so I'm not exactly sure how long it is. Oh no. Oop, well. Okay. Long ago there was an island isolated from the rest of the world. This island had no name, but flourished with life of all different kinds. The island was peaceful, where every plant and animal lived together in harmony, including the lone tribe of inhabitants who called themselves the Madis. To the Madis, the island was sacred, and they believed music kept the island alive. Music was played constantly to the point where even nature seemed to sing along. On this island, music was life, until music eventually came to life. The Island Song. The morning starts with the lights off of the sun slowly rising above the water far off in the horizon. The island is filled with the happy chirps of birds singing along to the gentle music being played by the people of the Madis tribe. This is a typical scene that the tribe of around 90 wakes up to every morning. It has become custom to keep a group of at least 5 people to continually be playing music in order to keep the island they hold so sacred pleased. The island is large enough for the Madis people to live comfortably spread apart, but small enough for anybody to be able to travel to any point on the island in a matter of hours. As the island begins to wake with more people joining the morning music, Shallow also begins to wake up in a small hut located along the shore in the southwestern part of the island. Shallow rises up from his bed, constructed from braided river straw used to make the mattress and pillow, and the leaf from a kapul tree, which can grow big enough to wrap several people at once, as a blanket. His feet stand on fresh, green-looking grass that always covers the ground of his hut. The inside of his round hut is lined with his few possessions laying on the ground along the walls. At the end of his bed lays a variety of clothes made from all kinds of colorful plants found throughout the island, but Shallow pays them no attention since he always wears his favorite and only pair of shorts, made from a toughened brown kapul leaf with the stem still attached to hold them up, and a poncho weaved from the softest green grass found on the island. These clothes were gifts from his parents when he decided to set out on his own only a few weeks ago. Shallow's hut was empty when he found it, most likely abandoned and forgotten about, but it was still in decent condition, and none of his neighbors seemed to mind him moving in. Shallow's most prized possession is a large hand drum sitting directly beside his bed. Unlike all the other things he owns, which were given to him, this drum is the only thing he owns that he crafted himself. It was not long after Shallow left home that he decided to look for materials for his own unique instrument that would stand out from others. Just a little north from the center of the island, he found a tree that resembled a kapul tree, but it was bigger and taller with brighter colored wood and leaves. The top of the tree cast a heavy shadow over the surrounding area, and the thick roots stretched out across the ground. After observing this unknown tree, he notices that a branch as wide as him had fallen from the tree. The wood of the branch was very dry, but still harder than any wood he had seen before. Materials from this branch are perfect for making a drum, so Shallow started crafting his one of a kind instrument. By the next morning, the wood of the branch was carved and hollowed to create the shell of the drum, and a leaf pressed over one end to make the head of the drum. The drum ended up being about the size of his back, so to help carry it, Shallow attached a strap made from the vines of the same tree. After letting his drum bake in the sun to help seal everything together, his masterpiece was complete, and the drum produced a clear, sturdy sound. Shallow now sits in his hut playing his drum, using only the tips of his fingers to create a gentle sound. It always surprises him how great this drum, that he created himself, sounds, and how easy it is for him to get lost in his playing. There is nothing he enjoys more than playing music, and playing early in the morning on his own drum is his favorite time. Without realizing it, Shallow's playing has formed a gentle beat to a fast-paced groove. filling his entire hut with his music. With his eyes closed and completely lost in his own musical world, Shallow grooves on, unaware of anything going on around him. Shallow! Shallow! Shallow suddenly hears his name and immediately snaps his eyes open to see his neighbor standing only a foot in front of him, looking like he is still half asleep. This man's name is Nabo, but Shallow never remembers that, so he just refers to him as neighbor. Shallow, you know you are not supposed to be playing now. You know the rules. Nabo starts to nag. Neighbor, I know the rules, yeah. You do not need to explain them again, Shallow says back, cutting off Nabo before he finishes. Shallow does know the rules that were set for the island generations ago, but he just has a hard time sometimes following them. On this island, music is sacred, and all the people of the island love playing music. That's the very reason rules were put into place, so that only music pleasing to the island should be played. That means once a person becomes an adult, they would only play at their designated shift, and children only learn to play on their parents' shifts. Even though there has been no real punishment put into place for playing outside of shift, it is still generally looked down on and causes people to really worry it will upset the island. Apparently, Shallow is the first in a long time to continuously break this rule, but he does not agree with it. He loves to play music from his heart whenever he feels the desire to play. You say that, yet you keep doing it, and so early in the morning, Nabo points out. Please, just do not make me come over here anymore. Yeah, I got it, Shallow says, barely audible as Nabo turns to leave. Shallow knows Nabo is right, and that there has been more people than just Nabo complaining. Shallow tries to be careful when playing, but he always gets carried away and forgets about everything around him. With his mood now ruined, Shallow decides to go for a walk, so he slings his drum over his back and walks outside. As Shallow pushes the leaves aside that cover his hut's doorway, he sees Nabo enter his own home just across a short field. Even though there are more neighbors around, they are blocked by trees or on the other side of the river that runs between Nabo's home. This leaves Nabo as his only neighbor that he constantly bothers, which still surprises Shallow since he still does not even live that close. Shallow walks along the path he has worn into the grass from his frequent trips to the main village. The path leads into a shallow patch of woods that separate his hut from his neighbors and the rest of the island. As Shallow walks through the woods listening to the birds chirping, and while a slight breeze rustles the leaves of the trees, he closes his eyes and imagines the island creating this music itself. This gets Shallow back in the mood to play again, but he notices through the clearing of the woods that people are beginning to leave their homes. He decides he does not need to aggravate any more people this morning, so he just walks out of the woods and nods to the people to greet them. That's it! Oh, wow, that's actually more than I thought I wrote. I thought I only wrote a couple pages. That was 4.5. No, I forgot a lot of what I read. I think I originally wrote this back in 2014. Yeah, it's been like 6 years. Yeah, summer 2014 was when I started. And eventually I wasn't crazy about it. I wrote a short story based on it just to get a general idea of what I wanted, also called The Island Song. And I realized I liked the tone, the way I wrote the short story better than this. I thought this was kind of just, nah. And then I decided to scrap this and start a whole nother story, also in this notebook. And from there, I kind of just forgot about it. 6 years later, wow. You know, and reading this, besides the fact that it definitely needs some proofreading and editing, I kind of still like what I wrote. I have been thinking a little bit more about what this was. I'm thinking this is going to take place sometime in between my short story and then my newer novel. So it'll be some kind of filler. But yeah, I'm actually a little, I don't know, it's like a little exciting for me to read this again. It was nice. I forgot, like, these people, I forgot why I named the tribe in this one. I forgot what the characters were doing. But now that I went back and read this, I kind of just remember everything I had planned for it. But yeah, there you go. Lost gem of something I've written. What do you think? Let me know. And if you liked it, go and like the video. If you want to see me read more of the stuff I write, because I have notebooks of stuff I've written, we'll see what else I pull from. But go ahead and subscribe to my channel. You can see why I do all that. But until next time, I'm DAC. Thank you for watching, and bye.